This is a video to learn about your pool and your equipment. What you have here is a heat pump, a variable speed pump, and a sand filter. The heat pump needs enough pressure for it to actually turn on. So I have made some adjustments to the RPMs on the pump. And I set a schedule on the timers. One thing we're going to go over real quick is your plumbing. I made some arrows the last time I was here. So we have your main drain right here. This is a three-way valve is what it's called. We have another three-way valve here. These go to your skimmers. The off tab indicates that that pipe is turned off. So when we go to vacuum, we typically will half cock a main drain, which means we got partial open drain, so we have enough water feeding the system. And then you would pick which skimmer that you would like to shut off to vacuum. Right now I've got the deep skimmer off and the shallow skimmer is wide open. This will allow full suction through the shallow skimmer, which your shallow skimmer obviously is the one in the shallow end on this side. The one over there would be your deep end skimmer. When you're running normally, you're going to have all ports open. So both pipes would be open here. If you are having issues with the water being too low in the pool, so if the water level basically was lower than the skimmers themselves, which we have some high water level right now. So at the opening over here, you can see we have the rectangular opening. Typically you want to run the water level halfway through that opening. Sometimes when we get some dry spells, we get evaporation and the water's gonna drop below that. You need to fill with your hose. But if you don't catch it in time, it'll allow the pump to suck air. So that's when you're gonna shut your skimmers off. So right here, if you're gonna shut your skimmers off, you would completely shut your skimmers off. This would have the off tab here closing this pipe off. Then you have no water being sucked through the skimmers at all. You want to make sure the drain is wide open when you're running the pump. That way we have at least one port that is feeding the pump and the filter. Again, normal operation would be both skimmers open and your main drain open. That allows the pump to pull the water through the trap. This is called a trap, where your pump basket is at. You will get debris in there. You have to clean that out, typically weekly, bi-weekly. It just determines how much tree debris that you have coming through the pool itself. From here, the water flow is going to go up your pipe into the filter itself. This is where the cleaning happens. Water's going to come through here, pull itself, draw it through the filter, send it back to the heat pump, and then back to the pool where your returns are at. This is called a return line. This is called a suction line before it goes into the pump. If we don't have enough flow, this heat pump will not run. So, indications of that would be your filter's dirty, or we have a restricted flow somewhere. So when you're looking on your filter itself, we have what's called a pressure gauge right here. I backwashed the filter already, so I know this is a clean filter reading. I've changed the RPMs on the pump, and I know right now I'm running at 15 pounds of pressure, so right here. So when you're trying to read the pump, whether it's dirty or clean, we're going to mark that with a Sharpie, and that's a clean filter reading. When you're taking that reading, you're going to do it with an RPM rating on the pump. That's at 2850. So as you see here, 2850 is what we're currently running. That's allowing your heat pump to work, and that's giving you the pressure reading on your pressure gauge at 15 pounds of pressure. Now if we were to change the speed on the pump, obviously this pressure gauge is going to fluctuate. So we don't want to take a reading at a different RPM. So we want to take a reading at 2850 RPM. I put that on the filter so you know what speed to read your pressure gauge at, because you will replace your pressure gauges periodically. These things don't last but a couple years. So when you go to add a new one, always go with your consistent reading of a 2850 RPM on a clean filter reading. So the manufacturers give you a 10 psi difference on dirty filters. So if I'm at 15 here and we go to 10 psi, when you get above this, they typically want you to clean the filter. I always rule of thumb, when you get 5 to 7 pounds over a clean filter reading, you're going to want to backwash the filter. That allows all the debris and sediment to be pushed back out of the pool. It allows your heat pump to continue to function, and it just gives you better filtration through the whole system. So when we're going to backwash, you're going to come to the pump and you're going to hit stop, which it looks like you guys already figured that out. So heat pump's going to shut off because we have no flow. On top of the sand filter, we have filtration mode, we have waste, we have the winter and closed. Down at the bottom, we have backwash, we have recirculate, and then we have rinse. When you're backwashing, you always want to go clockwise. Make sure the pump is off first. Take your handle, push it around, go to backwash. We're going to start the pump. We do that just by hitting resume. It will show you that it is starting. See, it comes up priming for 3:55. I moved that down to 4 minutes of priming. So what we're going to watch for is this sight glass here. It's going to push all the dirt. It's going to show you all the dirt that's coming out of the filter itself. What you want to look for is for it to run to clear itself. In the manufacturer's manuals, it says you can backwash up to 3 minutes. But just realize every time you're backwashing, you're losing water out of the pool. So if you have to backwash numerous times, you may want to think about filling if it gets too low. So I always run my hand or my fingers underneath it. If you can see through the sight glass, see your fingers. Typically you've got the filter pretty clean. Then you would shut it off. So that's not too bad right there. We're going to stop the pump. And then we're going to go to rinse. Rinse is typically anywhere from 10 to 40 seconds. So we're going to turn the pump back on. Basically what that does is it fluffs the top surface of your sand and gets the rest of the sediment and dirt out of it. You'll see that this will become completely clear. You might have a little bit of residual in there, but it's just pushing the rest of the dirt right out of the pipe. Cleared up really nicely. All right, when you're done with that, we're going back to standard filtration mode. This is the mode in which you're running your